Sam Rosen here with One Life Fitness and BodyBUILDING.com, and we're going to be going over how to execute the splits, doing PAILs and rails to create more hip capsule space, and eccentric loading so that we can go ahead and get to the very end range and create a little bit of active reinforcement as opposed to just passive stretching. So for you, we know we do a lot of passive stretching. What I want to see is how far can you get into the splits just as is, and then we'll go from there. How's that sound? Okay, for the middle splits. Okay.
This is without stretching.
That's without stretching. Okay, so we have like, what, 3-4 inches that we can get there. That is our current status for the splits. Outside of passive stretching, what we need to work on is contracting the muscles at length and then shortening them as well. So what we need to do is, as you hold that, we're going to go and do one leg at a time.
Okay.
But when you're in the splits, you have your inner thigh stretching right here, and we're going to talk about contracting by pushing the foot down and trying to lift the foot up, okay? Slide this out as far as you can handle. What I want you to do is...
flat.
Yes, then like this, sit up taller for me and slide into that end point right about there. Do we have a stretch on your inner thigh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both sides.
Try to keep this more like here, and try to focus more on that right side. Okay, so we have a passive stretch going on there. What I want you to do is keep your hands locked in stone there. What we're going to do is have you drive your foot into the ground. So I want you to imagine that you're out here and you're trying to do this, right? You're trying to drive your foot down.
Pull in.
Yes, exactly. Pull in, but you can't because the ground is blocking you.
Okay.
Do we feel this area squeezing, tensing?
Feeling mostly my glute.
Okay, I want you to come out of it a little bit, and now try to drive down.
Now I feel it.
You found it, okay? So we need to do a PAIL. We're doing PAILs and rails. Okay, PAIL means that is the open side. The glute is the closing side.
Okay.
If we have you go too deep into the stretch, you notice that you have a hard time contracting that.
Yeah.
So that's where more isn't inherently better. And you're stretching a lot, you're very flexible, but we're brute forcing it, which there's merit to, right? Like at some point we'll have to brute force it, but we're not going to go quite so deep, and we're going to try to contract whatever you can handle, okay? So I'm trying to pick your leg up basically, and you're not letting me.
Right now?
Yes. So keep trying to push down. You feel a contraction there.
Yes.
Okay, sit there and just let that burn for a minute, and we're going to put you on a timer. And we're going to sit here for 45 seconds and just let that open up. And then what I want you to do is when we get to the 30-second mark, you're going to dial it up, and I'll tell you. Okay? So sit there and focus on trying to contract. We're not getting a passive stretch. We're getting a tensing sensation. Is that right? Good. Hold it there. Slowly dial that up a little bit, like volume on a TV, right? Just one by one, 1%, 2%, 3%, and slowly ramp that up.
My leg's gonna start doing weird things.
That's okay. Shaking's all good. That's what we want. Start dialing it up now. I'm going to count down from 5, and I want you to go all out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds, 100% effort. Get more of a contraction from there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, don't move a thing. So that was a PAIL. Okay, we contracted the inner thigh. Now this is where it's going to be harder, more technical. You have the rail. We need to squeeze the closing side. Without actually picking your foot up, try to pick your foot up and feel the squeeze in your butt, okay? So the foot coming up isn't the objective. Contracting your butt is the objective, which lifting your foot up should initiate, okay? So think about running your ankle away from my hands. Do you feel your butt squeezing there?
Yeah.
Squeeze your butt consciously, like very deliberately. Keep squeezing that. Do you have more of a contraction in the glute over the stretch in the inner thigh?
Right now, this is so taxed that I'm still feeling it.
Keep trying to lift your foot up. Do you feel your butt squeezing there?
Yes.
Squeeze your butt. Squeeze the hell out of your glute. Hold it.
Yep.
Keep squeezing. You see the shaking that's going on there. Squeeze the hell out of it. Straighten the knee more. Good. Keep trying to lift up. You see how you're taking pressure away from this?
Yep.
Hold. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Don't move a thing. Sink a little deeper into it slowly. Right there. Hold. Big deep breath. Straighten the knee a little bit. Now try to PAIL again. Can you push against my hand? Can you find the inner thigh tensing there?
Yeah.
You notice you're a little bit deeper than we were, and you can now squeeze it. Okay? Hold that. Do the best that you can. We're going to sit here for another 30 seconds. Last round for this hip. Keep going. I'm going to count down from 5, and I want you to dial it back up. All right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Harder. 10, 9. We feel the inner thigh tensing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now reverse, rail, squeeze the butt, and try to lift the foot up. Right there, you feel the glute contracting there.
Yeah.
Hold. It's okay if the foot doesn't come up. The goal is to feel the regressive tissue, the closing side, not the open side. Yep. And you're trying to lift deeper into abduction. Hold it, squeeze it harder. You got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it.
Gotta get out of it?
Yes, you absolutely can get out of it.
Get out of it.
That was good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when we're stretching, we had you all the way here where we had the inner thigh stretching. We paled by driving down, and you railed by trying to lift up. And if you could lift your foot up that easily, then you weren't really at the end of the range of motion.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people will be like, oh, I can't lift my foot up. I can't lift my foot up. Right, because you're at the end of the range of motion. If you could just lift your foot up fine, we weren't deep enough. Does that make sense? And so it's tissue training, not movement training. Like everyone who stretches is very movement oriented. Like I need to get my pelvis to the ground. I need to get my pelvis to the ground, but they're becoming blind to the tissue component of it. Does that make sense?
Right.
And so we need to be able to squeeze that tissue in the stretch.
Right.
It's important to understand that for the viewer's sake especially, is that if I'm here and you only feel your butt working, you need to come up a little bit more.
Right.
Okay, and if you feel really sore and tender in that area, you have a lot of passive range of motion,
right,
but we have to fill in that space, right? Like most people actively can only go to like here.
Right.
But your stretching lets you go like all the way out here.
Right.
And we need to fill in that space so that our body kind of trusts us with that range of motion.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
and if we don't,
it's like almost the muscle.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
There needs to be a hedge there. There needs to be strength there too, right? And if our body isn't strong in those end ranges, then it's not going to grant us that range of motion. I think, yes, exactly. I think that's a good way of looking at it, right? Like you're strong in other exercises we do, but the splits don't get treated like a strength drill. They get treated like a stretching drill, a yoga drill, right? And so if we treat that more like a strength drill, I think we'll get more out of it. And so the concept of PAILs and rails is to create more range of motion in the hip. We're going to do another concept, eccentric loading, where you're doing negatives to fill in more space. So for eccentric loading, we're going to focus on just the negatives of the rep. And so the negative for the splits is going to be resisting as we come down. I don't want you just sitting here and sliding into it. That's not the purpose. You're resisting it, right? It's so easy, like if you're like bench pressing, you let the weight drop. That's not a negative, right? You just let gravity win. Your job is to not let the slider and gravity win. So contracting the inner thigh, one thing that helps is trying to like tense your leg muscles. And I want you maintaining this positioning of the spine and pelvis. I don't want to see you tilting or cheating. Exactly. We need to be as strict as we can. If you can't get that low in that position, fine. That's part of the problem, right?
Like when I do the splits, I end up leaning.
You lean forward a little bit. So let's use this to bring up those compensations because the blind spots are probably what's keeping you from getting all the way down.
Right.
So chest up, the butt is squeezed, and we're gonna go. And then once you hit your end point, like right about there, big deep breath, come back up. When you come back up, cheat to get up.
Right.
I don't care. The negative's the focus. Okay? Let's do it without weight. We can start with that, and then we'll do it with weight, for sure.
Down?
Generally, I would do that. I like that.
Stability.
Yeah, totally. If you like it the other way, so be it. Yeah, get a good foot placement on that.
And
sit up tall.
Up.
Yeah, so I want you to think about hip extension, posterior tilt. So push the hip forward more, squeeze the butt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, keep this in this position, and now slowly slide to me, but keep tensing your leg. Yep, slowly easing to that. Do you feel the inner thigh doing the releasing? Keep going. Maintain that chest. Keep squeezing the butt. Keep tensing the leg at the same time. Keep going deeper. Hold that. Big deep breath there. Let's get out of it. Yeah, cheat. You can use your hands. I don't care one bit. Okay? Let's go again. Good job maintaining that upright posture. Keep the pelvis tucked under you a little bit more. Maintain this here. Breathe. Keep squeezing everything. As you sink into it. Big deep breath there. Back up. That's okay. That's 2. Let's do one more. So extend the hip. Yep. Keep contracting the leg, right? Good job on the foot. Keep thinking about tensing the leg and resisting as much as you can. And we're feeling this doing most of the work. Keep going, keep going. You got a little bit more there. Breathe into that. Keep tensing everything. That's okay. And relax. You can see when you get to the end, as you come out, your foot tends to rotate out, which isn't wrong, but I want you to think about, if I rotate in, am I getting stuff that doesn't typically get worked? Right? And then again,
I'm always pointing my toes
out, right?
Yeah.
And so let's address the weak spot. The weak spot's the areas that will improve the most. As you come down to, you lean forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Just keep working on it.
Right.
All right?
Okay.
So what we're gonna have you do is a different form of eccentric loading, the negative, right? So we had you on the slider using like your body weight and gravity to resist you. What we're gonna do is put you here with your butt glued to the wall.
Okay.
You're gonna be anteriorly pelvic tilted. You're gonna arch your low back, right? So don't
flat.
no, I want you to arch your low back.
Arch. Okay.
Yes. Okay, you're gonna feel your hamstring stretching.
Okay.
We're gonna put kettlebells in your feet.
Okay.
And you're gonna open up all the way until you feel the end point, wherever that is.
Wherever that is.
That's the negative.
Okay.
That's the eccentric loading. We're gonna concentrically load up as well.
Okay.
Okay, on the other one, the focus was just the way down. We're trying to do both components of that now. Okay. All right, let's see what you got. So let's start with no weight and just get a sense of the movement pattern. All right, so we're arching this, you feel some hamstring stretching.
Yep.
And then slowly bring the legs out and feel where your end point would be. It's right about there, and we feel a stretch going on.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna come back up. Okay, what I wanna do is put the kettlebells on your feet and see how that feels.
Okay.
And then go from there, okay? Stay put.
Got it.
You can handle that?
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple points here.
Okay.
More isn't better. I don't care if you're on the floor, if your pelvis starts contorting and stuff, right?
Right.
You're gonna feel the tendency to rotate out,
Right.
because that's what you do when you're on the floor doing your splits.
Right.
So we need to use this weight to leverage the position that your body doesn't want to go into, which is staying pretty internally rotated.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Done.
All right, come out slow, glide against the wall. Maintain this. Go nice and slow, take your time. If you don't want to go all the way out on the first rep, contract and come back up if you just want to get a feel for it. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, so it's like an inner thigh machine, but it's to the end range whatever you can handle, right?
Yeah, like I don't know what
And then
I can bring back.
yeah, so get a feel for it. Get a feel for it. There's a level of comfort that like kind of comes with this. So just get a sense of where your endpoint is and where you're comfortable. Again, all we're trying to do is build strength within the range of motion you have. I'm not really trying to break a ton of new ground here, really.
Not my fault.
There you go. That's okay. We feel the stretch going on that we need though.
Yeah.
Okay, now contract the inner thigh and close them. You got it. You got it. Come on.
I can't.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right.
Well, we know it can't go out that far.
Okay. Feel where you can feel. You see how weak we are when we get to the end range though, right?
That wasn't even my end range.
So in the mid-range, we lost the strength.
Correct.
Okay, so maybe that's why we haven't broken through that plateau.
And no, I could have gotten a lot farther, but I would have never.
Too weak to do it.
Correct.
Okay, do it again and see where you can feel your sticking point, and then after this we can go a little bit lighter and go deeper into the range.
Okay.
Take your time with it, tense the stomach, nice and slow, feel both sides, stay internally rotated if you can, and then try to contract back up wherever you feel the end point. There you go. Yeah. That's hard. Have you done this before?
No!
Never? Good, good. Take your time, take your time. Big deep breath there, tense everything. You got it, you got it, you got it. How about one more good one and then I'll get you a lighter kettlebell.
That's like abs and everything.
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot going on here.
Hope a couple curse words are okay.
That's okay, yeah, that's okay. They'll beep them out. Come on, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up. All right, let's give you a minute. That was way harder than I anticipated it being. That's okay. How about you take a second and I go grab us another kettlebell? Does that make sense how that complements the other stuff we did?
Absolutely.
So when we're looking at like the process for how are we going to work into the splits, we start with your passive stretching.
Yeah.
Open it up as much as we can passively. Then we had you at the very end of the range of motion and we did PAILs and rails from there where you drive the foot down, you lift the foot up to try to expand how much space we have.
Right.
We did the eccentric loading with the slider to get even deeper into that to reinforce more space.
Right.
And then we did eccentric loading here where you have to concentrically come up as well to reinforce space even further. Okay, so there's like an order of operations to this and there's like a domino effect. Because you have so much passive space, the stuff we just did is probably the blind spot that we need to address. So what I want to do now is go passive stretch a little bit more and see how you feel.
See where I'm at.
Yes, exactly. Okay? And at the end of the workout that you expect to get lower, we might find that you're actually a little bit tighter as a way of your body like stressed and yeah, exactly, freaking out, exactly. So if you don't get lower here, that's fine.
Right.
But what I want you to do is give you maybe the next time you stretch, can I get a little bit further? The next time I do the one with the kettlebell, can I go a little bit lower? Can I feel it more? Can I have more power as I come back up? Things like that.
Right, not so judgy.
Exactly. The one where we did the PAIL and rail on all fours, and you lifted your leg up, can I feel my glute more? Can I feel the inner thigh contracting more, right? Those are like, it doesn't look like you're getting any further, but those are qualities of those muscles and joints that work better so that you can get further. Exactly. So I don't want us like,
Conscious.
yes, being very mindful of it and conscious of it. I don't want just thinking just because we're not getting low to the ground that it's invalid to do all the other stuff. Make sense? Let's see what you got. Ease into it and finish it out.
This is it.
No, you got more than that. Beautiful. Sit up tall. Hold that right there. Don't move a thing. Put your hands on here. Yep, there we go. There we go. And now slide your feet forward a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, yeah. And now try to sit your butt down and sit up taller. We feel that stretch that we need there? Hold it. Big deep breath into it. Now what I want you to do is while you sit there, let's finish it off again. Stay there. You can lean against that as much as you need. Try to bring your legs together, but the floor is blocking you. Do you feel your inner thigh contracting?
Yes.
You feel the inner thigh contracting. So if I come by and I try to pick your foot up, I can't.
No.
And if I come by and try to pick your foot up, I can't. And the inner thigh is squeezing, okay? Hold that squeeze. Squeeze it harder for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now squeeze your butt one last time. Try to lift the legs up. Do you feel the glutes contracting? So you're trying to run away from the floor, run away from my hand. You're trying to run away from my hand, and we feel the glutes squeezing. Hold it, hold it. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Yeah, so we did a PAIL and rail at the end of your workout, but with both legs at the same time. That was good. Does that make sense? You had enough of it?
Oh, I love it. It all makes perfect sense.